Welcome to BeerNet Radio. Listen to on every continent except Antarctica. BeerNet Radio.
Good word.
How's it going?
Good. We're about to have a hurricane.
Oh, I know.
That's right. Where are you at in Florida?
No, he's in Charleston.
No, I'm in Charleston. The hurricane passed through our production facilities yesterday, and today the hurricane's heading to our HQ where I am today.
Oh man.
And we're actually our HQ is actually on an island.
Oh geez.
Oh yeah, that's gonna get hit.
Godspeed, man.
Well, no, I think we're gonna be okay. We've lived through a couple of these. It's high tide now, and half of our parking lot is filled with about a foot of water. So I just had to park on the other side of the island.
Damn. So what all do y'all do
Where
to
you guys
prepare?
stay?
I'm in San Antonio.
Okay.
I'm in San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
we talked about that last time.
Yeah, I love San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego's fun.
Although this is the time of year I don't like it because this is really our summer. I mean, this is when it's hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
September, October is, I mean, it's not normally 100 degrees like Jordan deals with in Texas, but this is the hottest time of year this is wildfire season too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I guess you can't escape anything these days. Well, in San Antonio, how far are you guys from Austin? What's that like?
An hour south.
Hour south.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think isn't Austin city limits this week?
Shoot. It might be. It's usually like the first week of October. So
yeah, I think it's coming up. I saw that online. That's fun too.
We were just in Austin this week. Harry and Millie thought it'd be a good idea to have an early Christmas party and go to Harry Styles on Monday night.
Cool. I think I saw that. I think I saw you guys partying.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Harry likes to have a good time. I think he and I get along real well.
He does. He's sorry he couldn't be here. He's at the doctor right now. So
Well, I hope he's okay.
Oh no, he's fine. I think it's just a checkup. But so yeah, we're down a person. Well, actually two people because Jen is tied up right now too. So you're stuck with Bianca and I.
Hey man, I'm happy to be here and thanks for including us. The podcast is a cool idea.
Sweet. Well, thank you. Thanks for saying that. And I'll just kind of jump right into it. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to BeerNet Radio. We're joined today by Scott Hansen, the chief of Island Brands, who is a South Carolina supplier that was named to Inc. 5000 list this year as one of the fastest growing private U.S. companies. Island Brands started out 5 years ago in the super premium beer segment, but has expanded recently into much more, including high ABV F&B single serves, and now even RTD spirits. And Scott, I know you and I have talked about this in prior conversations, but can you share with listeners your go-to-market approach? Because those are three very different spaces for a relatively young company to play in. Yeah,
well, we thanks for having us. We love being a part of any opportunity to create awareness for our brands and for what we're doing is always really nice. So thank you for having us. We look at data primarily and try and understand what consumers are looking for. When we launched Island Brands, we didn't launch the brand as a beer company per se. We launched the company as a lifestyle brand. And that gets thrown around a lot these days, those two words tied together.
Definitely.
But the impetus for the brand was, it was kind of not intentional in the sense that we were going into the beer business. I had done an open ocean sailing race to Cuba, and that race, brought me to, luckily we made it there, and we learned that there wasn't really good beer in Cuba. And so when we got back, we started a company called Havana Craft Imports to import higher quality beer into Cuba. And so it was more of a passion project to really bring better quality beer to the island nation of Cuba. And through that process, we had made a small investment in a craft brewery that we thought would, potentially be our, go-to supplier for what we wanted to create in terms of a white label product to also send with curated products that we would import into Cuba. And that was really the impetus for Island. So when we actually realized that we couldn't do that because the State Department shut us down, we pivoted because we had already printed almost 300,000 cans with Island Coastal Lager on them, which was kind of to pay homage to the Cuban island and to provide them with a white label beer, along with, like I said, other curated delicious high quality beers. And so when we started the company, it wasn't, again, it was a passion project, but it really had this give back ethos tied to it. And so, as we progress now and have become a fast growing supplier of Bev Alc in the US, we're not beholden to, just beer. For the first 24 months that we had the company, and had to pivot to provide, a home for these 300,000 cans, which are now since long gone, thankfully. We initially, were only focused on that one SKU. When we actually started getting into the business, we realized you really can't sell a lager beer as a single SKU. I guess you can if you're, have a legacy and you've been around since the late 1800s, like a Pabst, right?
Right.
That you have that kind of longevity of having market share. But we spent the first 2 years of our business with only one SKU, which was Island Coastal Lager. And then in 2020, great time to launch a brand, we launched our second co-flagship beer, Island Active, which is in a slim can and a lighter version of our Island Coastal Lager. So for the first 2 years, one SKU, year 3, 2 SKUs. Year 4, we introduced 2 fruited lagers as a part of the Island Coastal Lager family. And then in year 4, we came out with now additional flavors of the Active family. So when we started looking at the data, we realized that, there was so much more opportunity to provide our community, which really subscribes to, a give back ethos that, not to say that other beer companies don't give back. I think there's a lot of really great things that craft breweries do in their local communities. And obviously those real big companies write big checks to, some larger nonprofits. But we're really unique in a way because we pledged 1% of our revenues to 1% for the planet to give back to environmental causes. And ultimately, that brand equity and that ethos is on every one of our boxes and now cans. And we wanted to make sure that we transferred that to other parts of the Bev Alc industry. So, our real kind of overarching ethos is all clean. And so that tied to the give back component is not exclusive to beer in our eyes. And so the data shows that, FMBs, high alc FMBs, RTDs, spirits. We feel very strongly that our community, given our very strong give back ethos, as well as, the clean choice, which overarches into all of our products, that's really the overlay that creates Island Brands, and that's the lifestyle brand we've created. And we don't think that it's exclusive to just beer. So we're super excited about these other products that we're bringing to market, and our community, which continues to grow. They're equally as stoked to get their hands on them.
Well, that's a good segue to talk about some of the new products, especially this year. You've had a couple things coming out. So the last time we checked in with you, you said you had plans to expand your distribution of Crush in the Southeast. So can you give us an update on how the brand's doing? It was introduced, was it this spring? So how's it been doing the past few months?
Yeah, it was introduced in late spring, and we launched it exclusively in Tennessee, given our Anheuser-Busch distributor network in that state had a spot in their portfolio for that product. It has been steady, and it's done extremely well in the C-store space, but we really were looking to expand that, as I stated in our last call, in all the states in the Southeast. Happy to report we just got our new outfit for Crush, which is a little different than when we initially launched the product. The product was initially launched in white cans, and it was received very well, but when we went back and looked at, the opportunities in the market to really, create an impact in terms of, what Crush stood for and the market we were going after, we decided to do a little bit of a rebrand. And so these two SKUs, as well as a third flavor that we've now introduced, which is a strawberry lemonade Crush, are all launching in October and November throughout the greater Southeast. And, I guess the big news is we're launching Crush statewide in Florida by probably mid-November, Thanksgiving. And that's going to be a really big impact for us. Additionally, since we last spoke, we secured production outside of Boston, Mass, and we are expanding our distribution footprint to an additional 13 states in the Northeast, in addition to what we currently have in the Southeast, which is currently 13. So by Q1 of 2023, the entire beer portfolio and a good portion of our Southeast as well as Northeast footprint will also contain Crush. Island Spirits, which includes 2 RTD lines, a rum line called Island Riptide, and a tequila line with real tequila, 100% agave tequila, will called Island Wave Water. That's our answer to Ranch Water. We love you guys in Texas, but we think that the East Coast and the West Coast, our product, we think, will appeal to that consumer. And so Island Wave Water is that product. And so we're using real spirits in the rum RTDs. They're made for easy drinking at a 5.0 ABV, as well as the tequila Island Wave Water. And then we have 3 750 milliliter rum, liquor, white, a gold, and a spiced rum, Island Coastal Rum, which is what we use in the RTDs. And then we have Island Volcano, which is a tequila, cinnamon tequila, to be a direct competitor to Fireball. And all of the liquor and RTDs are going to be exclusively launched in Florida in Q1 of 2023.
Wow. So full strength spirits you're getting into.
Full strength spirits, three 750 milliliter bottles of the rum, and an Island Volcano, which is a PTC of $15.99 to $18.99, and a direct competitor to Fireball. Fireball's a whiskey. Ours is a tequila. Ours is clean. It's easy drinking. And our kind of, handle on that is you can't handle it. We're really excited about, we're super excited about Island Volcano.
I'm excited. That sounds fun.
It's delicious. It's really delicious. And as a prolific Fireball consumer, I'm really excited about the tequila. It's a clean product. It's easy drinking, and it's 100% agave. So that we feel is going to be very much a disruptor in the market, as well as our RTDs are right in line with High Noon, except ours isn't High Noon, ours is Island. And now vodka, rum and tequila.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things there. I don't know if I've really heard of too many flavored tequilas, so that will be definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, you gotta go down to Mexico for that. Jordan, I'm close to the closest coastal town in Mexico to San Diego is Ensenada, which is not too far from Tijuana, and they have little outdoor markets and stuff, and so they've got women selling like embroidery and stuff like that. And I was down there with my friends a couple of years ago buying some like embroidered blouses, and then she pulls out her homemade coffee tequila and is giving us shots in the outdoor market. So I appreciate that.
Encinitas is cool. I love that massive Mexican flag they have on that huge flagpole in the middle of Encinitas. This product and concept was born really along the time that we launched the beer. I was in Encinitas, Ensenadas rather, to race the 50th anniversary of the Baja 1000.
Yeah.
I had friends of mine that are a surfer group out of Folly Beach, South Carolina, called the Mancho Beach Nose Riders, and those cats had a 1976 Volkswagen they souped up, and we raced it from Encinitas to La Paz, 1,000 miles in the Baja 1000, and that's where really Island Tequila was born. And so that brand family for us has been on the docket for quite some time. Matter of fact, I got all the IP for Island Coastal Tequila back then, and really Island Rum was on the docket as well. I do these open ocean sailing races, and we see, we're sponsored by Gosling's and some of the other larger rum companies, but we've curated rum from a distillery in the Caribbean. It's a product of the Caribbean. It's delicious. It's kind of a premium but affordable luxury, and that's where all of our price points and products land, all with 100% clean ingredients, higher quality, and that give back ethos. So we're pretty psyched for what's coming down the pike. We feel like the beer is clearly resonating with our community, and the tequila and rum products are right there with it. And as I told our team, we brought beer to the party. Now we got to bring some other good stuff, and so we're bringing tequila and rum. And you could just imagine, you open your cooler and you have our kind of standard core coastal lager family, which is the core flagship, and the 3 fruited lagers, the active with the slim can. That's our lighter co-flagship, but with the 3 fruited lagers. And then you have the Island Riptide, which is going to come in a mojito, a pina colada, and a stormy. And then we have the Island Wave Water, which is in a lime margarita, Paloma, and a tequila sunrise. And just filling your cooler up with all that, I think we're gonna be able to, have something for all occasions. When you're at the beach, on the boat, or wanting to be on the beach or boat, if you're in the middle of a storm in Minnesota, let's say, or New York.
Yeah, no, that's a full party pack. So extreme sports kind of led to the creation of Island Brands, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a penchant for doing stupid shit, and so the Baja 1000 each year, I think they said that when we did it, they circled it for a while, and that year was the year it went straight, like the old school one, because it was the 50th anniversary, and the fatality rate's like 10%. And there's I think there was maybe 380 vehicles. And sure enough, I think four folks unfortunately lost their lives. But these open ocean sailing races in the Baja, they're not for the faint of heart. But our mentality behind the scenes is definitely a work hard, play hard mentality. And we're excited about these products. We already have, look, we're a Bev Out company, and we sell through the middle tier to our retailers. Island Brands was born from going really from the top down with buyers. And when you look at our revenue, a lot of it, most of it, is derived from large format mandates. So all the large grocery chains, it's mainly chain mandates that are driving our revenue. If you go try and find Island Brands on premise, it's tough to find our brands on premise, especially with COVID that hit. We're doing our best to work with our distributors and the middle tier to really get, but we went about this business with a completely different approach. Most craft brands came up from the bottom, whether it was Jim Cook or Sam with Dogfish Head or Freddie with Sweetwater. Those guys, they're the godfathers of craft, and they started, and Kim, with New Belgium. I mean, and Sierra. I mean, they all came from the bottom up. And, with all these craft brands that are out there that make their own delicious concoctions, they've also found it difficult to get either on premise beyond really, 30, 40 mile radius of their brewery, because they can just make revenue, right where they are. But from a business perspective, we had 288,000 empty cans, and we had to figure out where we're going to fill them and send them. And so I called Publix, and here we are. They gave us the first shot. And now we're, name a retailer in the Southeast, and we have chain mandates with them. And so the way we see it, a lot of those chain mandates can also carry high alc FMBs. They can carry RTDs, and they can carry liquor. And so we're just giving our consumers, our buyers, more of what they want from Island Brands.
Yeah. And, launching RTD spirits in the Southeast, are you going across the whole entire footprint you have? Because, are you singling out states where you can show up in grocery with RTD spirits, or
we
what's
have
your strategy?
We have a couple people we're talking with in Florida. I can't really reveal yet because the ink's not dry. if I'm being honest, the hurricane Ian this week kind of derailed what we probably would have consummated in terms of distribution in Florida, but we'll get there in the next couple weeks. But we're going to launch the RTDs and Island Spirits exclusively in Florida statewide in 2023. The expansion of the beer to the 13 states out of our production facility in Lowell, Mass, will proliferate, and we'll focus on that in those 13 states in the Northeast. We may, we're likely going to pick certain states where we have strong distribution and in terms of a partnership with strong C-store mandates, where we have a strong partner that can really execute on those mandates. And so Crush and the beer will continue to proliferate in the Southeast and in the North. And then Crush, we're going to pick our spots, but the spirits and the RTDs will only be available exclusively in Florida. I am talking to some folks here in the Charleston area where we're HQ'd, because I want to be able to buy them, locally. So they'll be available, within a 30-mile radius of our HQ where I sit today, and statewide in Florida.
Gotcha. And do you see a big opportunity with the rum-based spirits RTD? Because I think that's a base that I haven't really seen a whole lot.
Yeah, no, rum, even rum, if you look at rum, Harry, like it's rum is not disrupted. It's the same players. Vodka's like, I think vodka's pretty over-indexed. I think tequila's probably a bit over-indexed, if I'm being honest, but I couldn't let Wave Water, be on a project plan anymore. I really want to get that out. When you drink our Wave Water, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, our active is on fire. It's an easy drinker. It's just a beer that's light with just a hint of flavor. Our tequila is real spirits in the same way, and our rum is likewise. There's not a lot of there's no small players doing what we're doing. You could say that they're really focused on beer because they're beer companies. We're not a beer company. We're a lifestyle brand. We happen to sell Bev Alc.
Right.
That's a big difference. And even rum, it's the same stuff. It all looks like, parchment paper, with like different names that are kind of hokey, like Pirates Rum or this or that, or Sailor this, or, our Island Coastal Rum is a product of the Caribbean. It's high grade, and it's fun, but an affordable luxury. And our community is looking for it. That's what they want.
Gotcha. Well, Bianca, do you have anything you want to add? We try to keep these 30 minutes. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on right now, actually. So
I appreciate the time.
Well, you were talking about expanding in the Gulf Coast too, but today you've kind of talked more about the Southeast and Northeast. So I think last time you said you were expanding in Louisiana and then in talks for Texas. So do you have any updates there?
Texas is very close. We have believe it or not, a single distributor that covers Texas statewide. And so we're very close with Texas. Texas will likely launch in Q4 this year.
Oh man, that's awesome. Happy to hear
and
that.
That's going to be, that'll be the beer, and that'll be Crush. So, beer and Crush can really go everywhere in our footprint. The spirits, we're really trying to stay focused on the RTDs and the spirits in the state of Florida, and really make it work in Florida. When it really takes hold in Florida in 2023, we likely will not just look to launch throughout our entire footprint. it'll be more targeted with our RTDs and with the spirits. And what we'll probably look at late in 23 is Texas, California, New York, and Chicagoland to add to Florida for the spirits and the RTDs.
Gotcha. Sweet.
And likely with a master distribution agreement with a one particular distributor.
Okay. I think I might know who you're talking about. We'll see.
We'll see.
Hey, Scott, thanks so much for sharing. Thanks for the time. And, good luck today and this weekend with the weather. Hope everything's all right. And we'll chat again soon. Are you coming to the summit in January?
I sure am, man. I wouldn't miss it.
Perfect.
Bring some of those spirits since we'll be in Florida.
Yeah, and it happens to be on my birthday, so we'll get together and do a couple shots of some Volcano.
Hell
All
yeah.
right.
Let's do it.
By the way, that will be the next big bar call. You can just hear it. We'll have 5 Volcanoes.
I can. That has a ring to it.
That's
well,
right.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
See ya.